stair. It done had smokers on it, kids smoking blunts, blocking the entrance to the door, rats and roaches, crawling across it, scaring people from being able to walk or enter or sit down. Sometimes we had to take the water hose and like wash the steps off that wasn't crystal stairs, and like use some bleach. And sometimes we had to scrub them joints because they was marble. So life ain't been no crystal stair, but it has been like a marble stair. But that was at a particular brownstone. Some of those brownstones didn't have marble steps, but the ones that did, we had to keep them clean because parents and our grandparents told us that we had to wash those steps. And if we didn't, then life for us wouldn't be no crystal stair. And like I said, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It had like popsicle juice on them and stuff left over from like firecrackers and stuff. Because, kids, they be playing with firecrackers. Some people call them fireworks, but we don't. Like firecrackers, sparkles. Remember sparkles? You just light it. It was like this silvery gray stick, and you would light it, and then it'd be like this fire, like light fire. They was called sparkles, and sometimes they was on the crystal. They was on the not no crystal stairs a lot of times. So life for me ain't been no crystal stair, because sometimes it had water ice. Now you probably don't know what a water ice is because you're not from Philly. But if you're from Philly, water ice is like an Italian icy thing, but we don't call it Italian ices because Italian ices is like you take some ice and you pour like juice. So, and we don't eat that. We don't eat that here. We don't like that. That shit is garbage. They be talking about we got 50 flavors. I'm like, all that is Kool-Aid. We don't eat that. But we do eat this thing called water ice. So it's like frozen flavored ice. And it's like real good. That's the difference between like a water ice and like a Italian icy. Now, people from New York will tell you, no, Italian ices are good. And I'd be like, no, they not. Because life ain't been no crystal stair. But on this life that ain't been no crystal stair, it'd be like water ice, like droppings and stuff from like a Little Hug. A Little Hug was a 25-cent juice. I don't know if they still have them, but like that held us down when we was little and life wasn't no crystal stair for us. So, it's Italian ice, not shaved ice. I don't know those terms you're using because we don't talk like that. We eat water ice. And they be trying to say that we say it like water ice. And I don't know. There may be some white people out in Kensington, Northeast. Maybe they say water, but we don't say that. You can always tell who. Oh, private number trying to call again. Good luck with that. Yeah, you can always tell who wrote certain things about dialect and vernacular and accents and stuff like that. Because I'm like, we say water, like we say water, like the water that you drink. We pronounce that WARDER, like water. Y'all can say water or water or whatever y'all say, but we don't say water. I don't know what water. Water ice. What is water? What is water? Water. Give me some water. Anyway. Today on the Urban Therapy with Son show, we are talking about plural folks and singular people. Plural folks and singular people. Now we got to take it all the way back to English class. Y'all know in English class, when something is singular, that means it's for one person. That means it's like I, me, myself, mine. When it's plural, it's us, we, them, they. So In our lives, y'all got to pay attention. Y'all got to pay close attention. In our lives, do we live our lives in a plural way where maybe we take other people's thoughts, feelings, their lives into consideration when we make the decisions that we make in our lives? Or are we more singular? Like, look, man, I do what I got to do. I ain't got time to be worrying about everybody out there in the world. You know, they doing what they, you know what I mean? And singular could mean that you're more independent. And independent is one of those funny words because a lot of people may say that they're independent, but when you really look at how they move and where their resources come from, then they're not always very independent. And I don't even think that you need to be. You know, I think it would be a sad world if you had to do everything by yourself, get everything by yourself, think of everything by yourself, never really incorporate anybody into it. But, and this is a serious but, sometimes you feel like, yeah, that's the best way because people be acting funny. And sometimes when you ask for help, like if y'all look at the poll question today, it's talking about asking for help or borrowing and how you feel about that. I would appreciate if y'all would ask for that. I mean, answer that. And I would appreciate if y'all would hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, because that would help. It's going to help. So, plural folks, singular people. Without thinking about it, which one are you? Are you a plural folk? Like, does everything you do come through the lenses of your kids, your spouse, your family, your friends, your neighborhood, your community, the world that you live in? Do you think outside of yourself when you think of yourself? Or is it all about self? Like, look, all I know is it feel good for me or it doesn't feel right for me. And if it don't feel right for me, I don't care how it feels with anybody else. Now, I don't want to make it sound like because you are a singular person that you don't care about anybody else. It just may mean that in your thought processes, you put yourself first. And maybe you are singular. I didn't say single. I'm not talking about whether you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I'm talking about singular. No, not the old cell phone company that eventually turned into AT&T. I'm talking about, see, I was Singular Wireless. You know, and Singular Wireless was dope. That shit was dope. They used to have a rollover. They had the rollover popping. It was, you know, back in the days when you was paying for minutes, they had the rollover popping. But I don't want to get too bipolar on y'all. I don't want to get too ADHD. We just talking about what we talking about. Plural folks and singular people. Which one are you? What up, my peoples? T Carry right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Stacy White, what the deal is? I'm glad you came on through. What the feelings? And Tori, what up, Tori? What's good? Tori 2200 all up in the house. Tori 2200 all up in the house. True Italian ice is more like water ice. Well, why don't y'all just call it water ice then? That's what I want to know. Just go. What I mean, I know, you know, when you from New York, you can't start talking like Philly folks talk because that's like a downgrade, right? Yeah, well, water ice is an upgrade. I will put water ice up against any Italian ice, especially since our water ice is made by black people, not Italians. They ought to call it black ice. Matter of fact, maybe I'm going to rebrand that today. It's going to be called black ice, black water ice, bloater ice, bloater ice. Look for it. It's coming through. We rebranded shit. We rebranded. All right. He says, I love water ice and Italian ice. All that other shit is for bum. Yeah, it's a good thing I didn't read that earlier. Yeah, you gotta chill. You gotta chill. I agree though. He said all that shit is for bums. Yo, that is, yo, my day is made. I'm good. I'm good. Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is level. Yo, I should pin that. I should pin that. I love what I attacking. All of that other shit is what. Yo, yo, yo. No. That shit is the greatest. Tori said, I don't ask. Well, I asked my boss to hire more people in my group. I understand that. It's hard to get that too. Budgetary concerns, you know what I mean? Budgetary issues. And I do ask others' opinions. Sometimes I need to brainstorm certain things. That's what's up. That's what's up. And black ice. Blow the ice, baby. Blow the ice. Carb diem. Carb diem. My brother all up in the house. What's going on, my dude? Is that? Okay. Plural. I think that's what you're saying. Either that or you're saying pilar. Is that like a Latina female? Okay. Family, friends, community. I find that people who are selfish are only strong enough for themselves. Giving people are strong enough to bear the weight and keep it moving and keep moving forward. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with a lot of that. I do. But that's not some people are more singular because they don't have any choice. I know a little something about depending on people, relying on people, even trying to involve people in something that's dependable and reliable, and realizing that sometimes they don't want no part of that shit. Sometimes people just really want to be alone. No. I'm going the wrong way. Sometimes people will force you to be by yourself or to develop things on your own because they just too busy bullshitting. And if you're about something and like, this shit is not going to get done unless I do it. Now you could say, well, if you were a better leader, then you could get it done. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes that's not true for the time being. What up, Ed? Ed Show, my man, Ed from Detroit. What's going on? My brother, my mellow. What up? Good to see you. So, did I say hi to Stay? Yeah, I said hi. Anyway, so, sometimes people will force you to think singularly or to be singular. But singular can mean independent and it can mean selfish. I think independence is okay. I think selfishness is not okay. However, selfish and selfishness are those concepts that can sometimes be misconstrued by people who might be trying to get something from you. So because you didn't give something to somebody that they didn't deserve, they might call you selfish. Well, you have all. I have none. All I asked you was for one. Here's the problem. You asked me for one before, and then you asked me for one before, and more. So you're into me for 5, and you want more than one. I've decided that until you pay me back, I ain't give you no more, motherfucker. Now answer that. And deal with that. Because at this particular time, I'm not gonna give you no more. Yo, go ask your mom. Cause you already burnt the bridge. Because that's how you live. So, yeah, you gonna be singular for the time being. But for real, I know that you'll find another sucker motherfucker because that's how you are, the ruckers. That you be causing. I'm not down with that shit. I'm talking all them. Yo, that's my word. So you call me selfish because I wouldn't give. You know more because I'm tired of the way you live. You on drugs, plus you smoke too many goddamn cigarettes. So at this particular time, the bank is closed and I'ma let you find your own resources besides me. Cause you no longer beside me. And I let you ride for free. But now I'm pride free. I'ma make it on my own. Because I'm up in the zone all alone. How I be feeling, I'm down with it like a motherfucker, and that's how I be feeling. Yo, I'm still reeling from the pain that when I tried to help you, even give me tuition, man. You help somebody with school and they fuck up that tuition money. Now. I ain't saying we threw you a trunk party or something. I gave you money toward that motherfucking, classes that you was supposed to be taking because I thought maybe you could get your little certificate or whatever and then, make it on your own. I sent you to school so you could learn a trade, so you could be like special ed, have it made. And I got played. Where the fuck is my money, pussy? Okay, wait a minute. Yo. If you help somebody with the school, you really trying to keep them from being out here being a fool. I'm really trying to show you some real success. Yo, so you can pass many tests that life will be giving you. And it gives you a lot. And I'm trying to keep you from getting too hot. Because when you get hot, it's like viscosity and shit. You got two metal things that's getting hot, then they start to expand and then they won't move. That's why you have to put oil in this shit. You know what I mean? Because when your engine seizes up, it's because the engine got too hot and you didn't have no oil, so they couldn't. It's like the Detroit Pistons. You know what a piston is? See, I don't even know. I'm not really, I can't fix cars and shit, but I understand how shit works. You know what I'm saying? But, it's the Urban Therapy with Sun show. Yeah. Viscosity, baby. You know what I mean? Viscosity, son. You know what I mean? Yo, it's sort of like when you be laying with your girl all night. She be getting hot and shit. You know what I mean? Yo, get on it. Fuck off me, shorty. And answer me this. How come when you lay with somebody at night and they get hot, but if they go to the bathroom, they come back cold as shit? Why is it when you go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you come back cold? I don't care what degrees it is. You get up and go to the bathroom, you come back cold as shit. You know what I mean? That's when you got to put the foot to them. Like, no, don't stop me from putting my foot on you, because that's not cool. Let me put my foot on you. This is love. Yeah. Mysteries of the world, baby. I want to know how come you come back home when you go take your little piss. I know, I always wondered about that shit. I don't understand. Now I'm pulling the covers over me. And you understand? Yo, we just trying to make it right. I got cold in the middle of the night, and that was after I was sweating like a motherfucker, like I had a fever. I don't understand that shit. No, you either? Yeah, I don't know. We gonna find out though. Yo, we got scientists up in this shit, yo. Yeah. All right, yo. Yo. All right, sir. Yeah. Oh, shit. Hey, what's this? Wait, that's not. Woo. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, plural, folks, singular people. Plural, folks, singular people. Plural, folks, singular people. So, I don't know what's silly today. I don't give a fuck. Hey, yo, I give, you know what I'm saying? Cartoon said they butts soaked up all the cold from the toilet. shit. This is oh, this is crazy. Prince of Darkness was good. Thanks for coming back through. Appreciate you. All right, man. We're gonna get this thing. We're gonna get this conversation started. Plural folks, singular people. Plural folks, singular people. We're gonna find out exactly which one we are today. We're gonna find out. So go over here, get my seat, get my chair, which is located right here. Come on, chair. All right, come on. Shit is unruly today. Ornery ass chair and shit. All right, chill. All right. We good. Levels is good. Levels is good. Levels is good. All right. Make sure y'all hit the like button, y'all. Please hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to this. Fuck all that. Please just hit the like button and everything will be all right. Which one are we? Which one are you? Are you a plural folk or are you a singular person? Singular or plural? I thought about this. I'm definitely singular with plural capabilities. I'll explain. For the most part, I'm singular. You know, I rely on myself a lot, and I do for self. And I've always felt like I was in this thing by myself, honestly. But I really appreciate it when people help me. And I do have a lot of people that I can reach out to, you know, who are resources for me. I don't know why I was about to accentuate that word, right? They are resources. No, the resources, dummy. Anyway, so I don't have a problem asking anybody for help when I need it, but I have had problems. And I'm very selective. I don't ask just anybody. Like if I don't fuck with you like that, if I consider you to be an enemy or not really a friend in any kind of way, I'm not going to ask you for anything. But I have to be smart about it, even with some people who I might not have been like this with. I've learned over the years that you can build bonds and bridges with people by asking them for things. Sometimes, and this was a tough lesson to learn. Sometimes people are waiting to help you. Sometimes people really like you and really admire you, but sometimes they're intimidated by you. I mean, you could have a strong personality or whatever. And, you know, sometimes acting independent will stop people from trying to help you because they figure, oh, okay. You know how they say you can't teach anybody anything that knows everything? Well, they figure, well, I can't give somebody anything that has everything. So since they think they have everything, I guess this nice, shiny, desirable thing over here is something that they already have. So I'm going to give it to somebody else. But that came with maturity. I had to learn that the hard way. And you know, I'm going to tell y'all how I learned this shit. On social media, in the early social media days, I would say this was around 2013, you know, early for me as far as this particular platform. I used to put up my posts. I used to put out these posts and they were like inspirational affirmation posts. They were called daily go-gettemisms. They were literally called daily go-gettemisms. So, you know, I used to do it every day. I still have them. You know what I mean? For like a good 5 years straight, I wrote a daily go-gettemism affirmation every single day. And I used to post them on Blogger, but I used to also post them on my Facebook page. So a lot of people responded to them, but they didn't blow up like I really wanted them to, or whatever. And I used to be wondering, like, people used to tell me that I should write a book and put them shits in there. I was like, yeah, maybe I'll do it. But one time, I decided to ask for advice. I put up a post asking for advice on a particular situation. And the situation wasn't really something I needed advice on, but I put it out there anyway on some experimental shit. And yo, that shit got so many responses. They got responses to responses. And I was like, When I was giving, I wasn't getting as much. But when I was asking, I got a lot. A lot of people were responding that had never responded to my shit before. And I thought that was interesting. Yeah, Carp Diem. You know, other things. You want to get a lot of responses on a post? Put a plate of food up. Post a plate of food or a candy bar. You ain't got to even say, you don't even have to put a caption on it. Greedy motherfuckers will flock to that post like, oh, yeah. Oh, I eat that. And blue, oh, yeah, that's the shit, right? Like, mindless matter, baby. Mindless matter. Yo, this dickhead said he want to be LeBron so bad. LeBron is like almost 7 feet. I'm not even 6 foot. I don't know what to tell you. I think I'm about 13 years older than LeBron. But LeBron do look old. LeBron is old. He's never looked young. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. He's never looked young, but he never got really older. Like that motherfucker was 40 looking when he was 18. Now he looked like 45. What is he, like 42? Let me see. How old is LeBron? How old is my man? How old is LeBron James? He's 41. Yeah, to me, LeBron never looked young. But one thing is for sure, I do not look like LeBron James. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Oh, man. So, yo, you cannot stop a dickhead from fucking himself. All right. Prince of Darkness says it's bad to ask for help as a male in society because people will think you're weak or too dependent. You know what? In a way, I can see how you would say that, but if you really think about it, you know, let me ask y'all about this because I've heard it said that men feel more comfortable asking for money from men than asking for money from women. Even married men that might be in a financial bond, and even if their woman works or whatever, they said that they feel more comfortable going to a friend of theirs and borrowing money or whatever, or getting help from them than going to their woman. Like, listen, babe, I'm fucked up right now. We need this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? I'm going to need you to hold it down. And I'm like, I don't know what men they were talking about, but I can imagine that it exists out there. And to be honest with you, like, I would rather, if I had to borrow money, I would rather borrow it from a female than a male. Cause I don't know, niggas ain't gonna let you forget that you was down on your luck at one time and you needed them. As a matter of fact, I can see them being like, yeah, you got a whole woman. She got a whole career. And you ain't asked her for no money, but you came and asked me. Yeah. I don't think that's a good way to be, but I could definitely see that. I mean, that's not to say that a woman won't throw it in your face as well. But more than likely, you can always counter it with a woman. Like, as much as I've given you, you can get back a little something every now and then. Fuck you talking about? But I don't know. But let me see. New Day, word. Rest in peace, Lorenzo Salgado, Arroyo, and Nolan Wells, word. Let me see. I'm going back up in the comments, y'all, because I don't know. Okay. All right, let me see. Just a word to the unwise. When you go into a new space, it's best to remain silent and learn something before assuming anything about anyone. Word. Joy says, we aren't meant to do everything by ourselves. Shared responsibilities and ideas have better outcomes. And that's true, as long as the parties that are involved have good heads on their shoulders. Now, if you got a bunch of cats that are dumb, that are ignorant, that are reckless, that are toxic, nah, it's probably better for you to be singular. But if you got some good people, some innovative people, some forward-thinking people, some ambitious people, positively ambitious, because you can be ambitious like a Shakespearean play. Shout out to all of y'all who paid attention in high school English class. All right, English lit, But I think you're right about that, Tori. What up, Carla? Carla. Yeah, Tori. When did LeBron ever look young? He always looked like he was somebody's father. Bronny look older look younger. Wait. Hold on. Let me chill. Wait. I don't know. I think LeBron James was born at like 21, even though he came into the league at 18. Carrie said LeBron has looked 32 since he was 6. It's true though. Yeah, he did say that before, didn't he, Clay? What up, Clay? I don't know, man. We got Uptown Shell, my dude. You say, is that a Patrick Ewing? Oh, this Pat, baby. 33. This Pat. I've had this jersey since 1997, y'all. Real shit. I've had this jersey since I was 26. Hey, it held up. This shit, all the other jerseys died. This and that Wake Forest jersey that I had since 97. No end in sight. They never got ripped, never got torn. I don't have none of the sneakers from back then, but I still got these jerseys. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, sit back, relax, do your thing, Max, and chill. Bump City in the house, y'all. What up, my dude? Cardigan says, I did terrible in English. It was my worst class. Really? Well, you sure seem to know how to write a complete sentence. Would you got better at it in college or something? Look, you use punctuation, everything. Obviously, you're not working with an iPhone. People with an iPhone never use punctuation. maybe a period. But you ain't gonna see no apostrophes. You ain't gonna see no commas and shit like that. You're more likely to see a bunch of capitalized letters because they put the punctuation, all the punctuations on another page. They ain't gonna interrupt they texting to go on the other page. I mean, iPhone is dumb phone, man. That's what they're gonna call it. They're gonna call it I'm dumb phone. I know all y'all iPhone users out there. I understand. I do. I get it. But if you wanna write proper English, you gotta have an Android. It's just the way it go. Look, you even put a period after your emojis. Yeah, you gotta have an Android. What you got? What you got? A Samsung S26 Ultra? he must have a Samsung Ultra. S26 Ultra. he put a period after. Yo, don't tell me you wasn't good at English. Nah, I'm not trying to hear that shit. I ain't trying to hear that shit. You know something. You know something. You said all this phone is dumb. I don't know what you're talking about. You must be writing with an iPhone. But you did put a period on there. But you didn't capitalize the first letter. Yeah. I smell a rat. My brother Time. My brother Time in the house. What's going on, Time? Time is money. So, yo. All right. So, being plural. Okay. Did anybody identify themselves as being singular or plural? Singular or plural? If not, if you haven't self-identified, could you please take a couple of minutes out to describe yourself as being singular or plural? Singular means that it's all about I, me, or whatever. Don't be ashamed. If you singular, you singular. Let's put it this way. Singular is more synonymous with being independent, and plural is more geared towards being not necessarily dependent, but team oriented. Team oriented. It ain't about me. It's about us. We Jalen Hurts. We Jalen Hurts with it. As long as we win, I don't give a fuck who the star is. Clay says, English saved my self-esteem. Mathematics made me feel I had issues. I mean, from algebra, not on the basics. No, I understand that. I do. And the thing about math is if you master the basics, you'll never have a problem in math. But so many times we've never really mastered the basics. You know how many adults can't do long division? Real shit. You'd be surprised at how many full-grown adults never learn how to do long division. That's a real thing. I know how to do long division. I think I remember. You know what be tripping up adults a lot? Percentages. You know, I seen y'all using your calculator on your phone at the restaurant. But can you do the actual equation? Can you? Can you? Remember, we all grew up at a time where you couldn't have a calculator. Just remember that. And by the way, Clay, English saved my life too. There would have been no college for me if I wasn't good at reading, and if I wasn't good at reading and writing, it would have been a wrap for me. Cartoon says, or read often. No, it's an iPhone. It's an iPhone 15. I just upgraded. It was a painful experience. Felt like the dumbass trying to transfer that. But yo, now hold on. I will give that to iPhone. They make transferring data easy as shit. What I don't like about Apple the most is that they make you pay for every little thing. Pay. They ought to call it payphone. Fuck iPhone. No. It feel like it's your phone, not iPhone. Yours. I mean, pay. You want to listen to music? You want to listen to music? Got pay. Oh, you need more space on your phone? What, you want to store these? You want to send these videos? You got pay. Pay. And then they was the first phone to take away the headphone jack. Never had the SD card. Never had the storage card. Now Samsung then copied off an iPhone and took away the SD card. I'm like, that's when I knew that chinks stick together. It's not about business. That ain't nothing but chinks sticking together. I Chinese, you Chinese. We no compete. We only fake compete. Ha 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 ha. iPhone not Chinese company. It's American. All right. Stacy, you singular? Okay. All right, cool. Tom says, son, you know some people don't get over the track phone and people still want to use their Blackberries in 2026, and you made an unbelievable song called Please Stop Fighting Me with fighting me in my phone. Oh shit. He says, I cannot afford to mess up. All I have is me to fall back on. I understand how that feels. Kinda. Clay says calculus, trig, and all that had me throwing books at the wall. Yeah. Nah, I ain't. Yeah, I never made it to trig. I could still factor a polynomial, but I might have to practice a couple of times before I get it right. Just do what's in parentheses first. That's what you got to remember. Do what's in parentheses first. All right. Shit. Bump City says, or muscle memory is weak thanks to these handheld computers. Facts. Dipples D's, what's good? What's good? Stacey, you had a BlackBerry? You was one of them. You probably had a two-way pager too, didn't you? You had a two-way? You had a two-way pager, didn't you? Don't lie, you had a two-way pager. You had a two-way. You had a two-way pager. You had a two-way. All right. Tom says, I work in a nursing home business, the hospital business. I started out in restaurants. I even send something back to the cook, and when the food is on point, I want to see the cook and bless him. Okay. Covenant says time indeed. Personal accountability. I can't even think about being critical of others while ignoring my own F-ups. All I had was a beeper in the old school payphone on the corner of every block in a liquor store and Chinese restaurant. I plead the Fifth Avenue. I kept a beeper on my hip. That shit, I got one in what was it? I think I got a beeper in. It had to be the beginning of 1990. I ain't had no beeper in the 89. It was 1990. Hit me on my pager. My pager. Hit me on my pager. Some certain numbers you can put in the phone of a beeper, and it spells out certain words. Oh, you know what? You gotta chill, man. But you're right. You gotta chill. We got that from the calculator. You know what I mean? The beeper, all you had was that green screen. But some people had that big beeper that you could text on, but you couldn't text directly to it. You had to call this number, and it told you had to tell an operator what the message was, and then the message would come on the beeper. Those was the early days. Those were the early days. Oh damn, Stacey, you never had. Wait a minute. All my females had beepers. You said never had a beeper, always a cell phone. 7734. Hell, right? That was hell, right? You turn it upside down. Well, if you put a 0 on it, it was hello. Just saying. It was hello. I remember I was messing with this chick back in the day. She said, "Well, I'm gonna give you a code to when I beep you, so you'll know to call me." You know what she told me her code would be? 911. I was like, "What's your code?" 911. This chick, this was a slick motherfucker, boy. I was like, "No, we're gonna get you a different code." She was like, "No, I want my code to be 911." I said, "No. No." It says feels good to get the clean shave in the morning, doesn't it? Brings new life into the spirit. I can't start my day off until the dome is chromed. You shave every day? I shave every other day. I can't do it every day. I gotta get that shit time to grow out. If I shave every day, like it'll irritate me. All right. Tom says, when we was not Gen X or Z, we were young people that went out there and got it. We hustled, working. We wasn't all selling drugs. Well, some of us were good kids. We was not. I'm about to say we were selling a lot of drugs. But it made a lot of money. You know what I mean? You might have died young, but you didn't die broke. Not necessarily. All right. That meant the police was on your ass when you seen that. Son, back then I wasn't multitasking with numbers too good. Just give me a beep on the beeper and I'll get back to you. No codes that can get you caught up. Mm-hmm. I bump up too much for daily shit. Yeah, man. Some people can do daily. I'm good. He said, speaking of which, who the heck was Gen Y? You never hear about them. I don't think they came out with them yet. They're gonna have to go back to Y. That's generation how come. Generation Y. Why come? All right, y'all. Plural or singular? Who are the most plural singular or singular people that you know? We can go through a list of people that we may all know, even if we don't know them personally. Like, let me ask y'all this. Jay-Z. Let's take Jay-Z. Everybody knows who Jay-Z is. None of us may know him personally, but if you look at the way that Jay-Z moves, would you say that he's more plural or singular? Think about how you answer that, though. Because it might sound easy to say that he's singular, But is he? Is he? Mm-hmm. If you know something about Mr. Carter, you may see some traits of both in him. So what would y'all say? With Jay-Z, singular or plural? Singular or plural for Mr. Z? Senior Z, singular or plural? I'm going to actually say he's plural. I'm going to say he's plural. Only because one thing about Jay is that he's always been quick to donate money, like national tragedies and stuff like that. Now, you may say that, well, maybe he just wanted to have his name on it, and be known for helping. I'm like, hey, man, help is help. You can't always over scrutinize the things that a person does, even if you don't think that they did it in good faith. Did they do it or not? All right, so you say, all right, Dimples D's, you say he's singular. Okay. I mean, Tom says he's definitely plural with his family and people he loved. That's something to take into consideration. Carb Diem says, I think he has done a lot for the community and he knows how to network very well. I would say he was a plural person. I think it's plural. You can't always let people who are disgruntled or disappointed or let down or maybe even have a legitimate, bad story to tell. You can't always let them be the ones to define who a person or what a person is. He has a lot of experience being plural. He signed a lot of groups. He signed a lot of artists and he helped them out. Now, okay. All right. Let's keep it moving. Diddy, singular or plural? Sean Puffy Diddy Combs or Sean John Puffy Diddy Combs? Plural or singular? Think about it. Which one is he? Is he plural or is he singular? Diddy is on deck, y'all. All right. Okay. You Dimples, you say Diddy is singular? Stacey says, why you always make me lose my mind? Where did you put your mind? You got to stop putting your mind in places, where it might get lost. Keep an eye on your mind. It's what you do after Jay-Z puts you on. Doesn't have to hold your hand forever. Okay. All right. What up, Alex? Tom says Diddy definitely singular. Lucky Charm, Diddy is singular. Interesting. Carb Diem says, notwithstanding recent events, he definitely helped Johnson & Johnson baby oils. No way. You think he should have took out stock? Oh, you said I always make you use your mind. I liked it better the other way. I like it better the other way. I make you lose your mind. Yeah, that's better. Ain't that better? That's better. Okay. Time says, I was being respectful, didn't want to bring up no baby oil, didn't want to bring up the case, but but did he wants to be in the forefront of all his artists? That is a singular person. Oh, okay. I see the way that y'all are looking at it. Okay. All right. I still think he's plural. He's done a lot. Even the people that went to court against him or whatever, he did a lot for them too. And if you ask me, like, Cassie seems a little singular to me. But did he sign a lot of artists? He may not have done right by all of them, but he put money in a lot of people's hands. Maybe it wasn't the kind of money that they felt like they should get. And yeah, he was definitely a businessman in his dealings, but I would still say he was plural. He's helped a lot of things in a lot of other ways too. So but I accept y'all saying I'm singular. Stacey, you say he's singular too? Okay. Tom says, well, why don't y'all hear anybody from Bad Boy? Not 112, not Total. Where's Carl Thomas, Mr. Summer Rand? Well, the thing is, he's not really running Bad Boy anymore. I think he got bored with that and went on to other business ventures or whatever. But no, I mean, if y'all say he's singular, I'm not going to argue with it. I just think he's plural. Alex Flores, what's good? What's good? Tom says, son, if you put out the record, please stop fucking with me. And don't you think you deserve all the money for that song? But Diddy would take half of the rights to the song and then go perform the song. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it out independently first and milk it that way, and then I'm gonna let him take it and pay me a percentage of it, and then I'll make the money. You know what I mean? I'm old enough to make sure I handle my business first instead of all the lights and all of the flash and all of the, all of the other stuff, the fringe benefits. You gotta have the benefits before you get the fringe benefits, but sometimes people put the cart before the horse. But no, I can understand why y'all would say that he was singular. I can. I just think that I think that he's I really think that he's plural. I think he got some plural in him. Plural. Wait, hold on. Well, but since we was talking about it, let's go. Take a little intermission before we go to the next person. Word. For my brother Tom and everybody else who cares, let's go where no one would ever dare.
Please stop fucking with me.
I'm telling you once.
Please stop fucking with me.
Please don't make me have to tell you again.
Please stop fucking with me.
I was trying to be with you.
Please stop.
But people like you ain't really no kind of friend.
Please stop fucking with me.
I see you all up in my biz.
Please stop.
Evidently cats like you really don't know what time it is.
Please stop fucking with me.
Yo, my exes.
Please stop.
Don't worry about who I'm sexing. Word.
Please stop fucking with me.
As long as I ain't bothering you.
Please stop fucking with me.
Don't worry about what the God do.
Please stop fucking with me.
We moving forward and ain't looking back.
Please stop.
I can't be around motherfuckers who don't know how to act.
Please stop fucking with me.
Yo, please give me 6 feet. Said please give me 6 feet. Get out of my face.
Please stop fucking fucking with me.
Always pointing and telling.
Please stop.
All that shit. I ain't buying what you selling. That's word.
Please stop fucking with me.
Love is love, but I ain't got nothing for you.
Please stop.
That's mainly because the silly ass shit that you do.
Please stop fucking with me.
I'ma end it off right around here.
Please stop fucking with me.
Maybe we can get together next year.
Please stop fucking with me.
It's time for that END.
Hope you are done fucking with me.
I see you before you see me. Okay. How about this? Bill Cosby. Singular or plural? Singular or plural? Bill Cosby. Yeah, I'm gonna make it a little tough today. You know what I mean? We dealing with some people who has some legal, maybe some social issues. Is Bill Cosby singular or is he plural? Good looking at my brother Tom. Good looking out. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good word, Carp Diem. That's what I'm saying. Did he? I just think he's plural. You know what I'm saying? We can't always look at, sometimes we tend to look at the results of a situation and then we make a whole assessment about the situation. And I don't think that that's fair. You know what I mean? I just don't think that that's fair. It's like, have you ever had a job where you was busting your ass and working hard, and the minute you sat down to take a break to wipe off your forehead or something like that, the boss came by and caught your ass sitting down or on your phone or some shit like that? He don't know that just a few minutes before, you know what I mean, you was tearing shit up. You was the Tasmanian devil. So sometimes we look at the results of what happened with a person, whether they were unsuccessful or something, or if they got into some trouble, and sometimes we start judging from there. So that's why I'm like, sometimes we got to be a little bit. I tell you this, when Bill Cosby got locked up, and when all those allegations came out and women started coming forward about him drugging them and fucking them and all of that kind of shit, I feel for that. I feel for them. I do. If they were really victims, you know what I mean? I don't like to see women get hurt in any kind of way. And I don't respect anybody who rapes, molests or anything like that. I don't respect that. At the same time, I have to look at his body of work. Like when Temple took his statues, his murals down and all of that shit, I said, well, ain't this some shit? Give him back his fucking money. Tell him you don't want none of his dirty, roofie serving, rapist money. Give him his money back. Tell him, take his millions of dollars that he gave y'all and throw it back in his face. Like, no, Kaz. Do y'all remember when the sexual abuse scandal came out at Penn State with Sandusky? Yeah, with Sandusky, it came out that for years he had been sexually abusing football players and shit like that because he was a coach. And then they blamed Joe Paterno for not doing more or turning them in or blah, 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 blah. And then, they gonna fire Paterno and took down his statues. Joe Paterno? He brought that school billions, not millions, billions of dollars. And y'all took down and tarnished his legacy for some shit that he didn't do? He didn't put hands on nobody. Nobody blamed him for shit. They didn't even blame him for not telling. And he actually did tell. But I'm like, that's what I mean by you can't always look at the results or when a person has fucked up to make the full assessment of their character. My brother from another mother, Norris Hill, says Kaz was definitely plural. I agree. Dimple says he's plural. Entrepreneurs are plural. A lot of times they are. They not all entrepreneurs are plural. A lot of times it depends on what it depends on what kind of entrepreneurs they are. Cardeem says, yes, I too am guilty of judging others based on singular events and not taking into account the entirety of their life's work. Yeah, man. I mean, it's an easy thing to do, especially with some. Because it's easy to say that I don't give a fuck how much good he did. Look what he did. This is terrible. And I don't even have a problem with that. But if we ask in the question of whether somebody is plural or singular, for this conversation, we got to take a stronger look. So I say Kaz is definitely plural. He did a lot for a lot of people. And black people, he did a lot for black people, especially in Hollywood. I'm not trying to hear that shit. You'd be hard pressed to find anybody outside of Spike Lee who did more. You'd be hard pressed to find anybody outside of Spike Lee. Maybe Tyler Perry. As much as I hate Tyler Perry movies and that shit that he does, but I ain't even gonna ask whether he's singular or plural. We ain't no way Tyler Perry is anything except for plural. He plural as fuck. He black plural. He blurral. He blackural. Okay, let's move on. Oprah. Singular or plural? Oprah. Huh? Oprah. Singular or plural? What we got? What we working with Oprah, y'all? I never forget on the cover of the Philadelphia Daily News back in the day when Oprah had admitted that for a while, she had used coke and she was dealing with a lot of depression and shit like that, and it was a hard time in her life, and she was using coke. And on the cover of the Philadelphia Daily News, it said Coke-pra. I said, these motherfuckers. That's why, that's why it's so easy for somebody like Donald Trump, who is singular all day. I'm not even going to ask that question. But that's why it's so easy for somebody like him to claim that all mainstream media outlets are fake news because of shit like that. They put Coke-pra on the cover. I was like, Coke-pra though? Coke-pra? Like she the only person in Hollywood that ever used some. I wasn't ready. Coke-pra. I'll never forget that shit. Coke-pra. Okay. All right. Let me see. Company says I wouldn't want anyone to hold me to that standard because who I am now is definitely not who I was before. Okay. Tom says you can hate Tyler Perry all you want. Fruit Loop Tyler Perry, but that brother gives like no other. I don't want to hear anything about on Tyler Perry not being plural. I have to agree. All right. You say Oprah is singular, Dimples D's? Wow. I'm going to say wow. All All right. Tom says Oprah is singular. I don't care what nobody want to say. She is singular. She is no different than Lucky Charm Diddy, and only person she made rich was her best friend Gail. Mm. Tori, you say Oprah is plural. Okay. Tom says I don't care how many cars she gave away. Do you get a car? You get a car. You brother, you go to jail. You go to jail. Okay. He said, let's not forget she was friends with Harvey Weinstein. A lot of people were though. But I got something for you. The next person, I got something for you. All right. Bum City says big Oprah, skinny Oprah, plural. Okay. Big Oprah plus skinny Oprah equals, you know what? I'm done. All right. So he says, I learn something new every day. That's good. You're not touching. Why? What? Oprah gonna come get you? Oh, I'm Oprah. I'm Copra. Copra. Okay, yeah. I think Oprah is plural too. I see she plural. And I think she has to be plural. You know why? Because you can't become a billionaire being singular. Ain't no way. See, y'all got to understand what we're talking about when we say plural. Plural is not just your interaction with other people. It's it's a philosophy of life. So the things that you do, you have to consider the impact that it makes on other people. There's no way you can make $1 billion being singular, because there's no way you're going to make $1 billion all by yourself. You have to get the team involved. You have to rely on people. You have to employ people. You have to set up resources, programs, and ways to get other people on board. I don't think Copra could be singular if she tried. And she held it down. She still got a boyfriend that she never married. So it's not necessarily about who she helps, or, it's about how she looks at the world around her. She built a television network. You have to be plural. She can't have just her own programming. She can't just be the only one who decides who gets on the show, or on the network or not. I don't think she can. I don't think she's eligible to be plural. Anything but plural. Men can't go around chopping off nobody's nothing, and Oprah wouldn't be there for no man if if that happened to him. She is singular in my point of view. Okay, but you can't have shows telling black men to marry black women and you're not married to Stedman. I think there are bigger reasons for her not being married or having any children. I think there are solid reasons for that. After all, she's an Aquarius. Who would want to marry? I'm just playing. I'm just fucking. I'm just fucking. We're just fucking around, Tom. Tom, I'm just fucking with you. Tori says, and as a billionaire, you have to donate that money for tax purposes. You can't be a billionaire and be singular. You just can't. You just can't. And let's talk about OWN, her TV company. OWN, what is going downhill until Tyler Perry touched it, and that is the God honest truth. Hey, everybody needs a little help, but she was getting money before Tyler Perry, and she got more money than Tyler Perry. Hey, hats off to both of them. Hats off to both of them. But I think that she is plural by default. But let's go to the next one. Who do y'all think the next one should be? The recently deceased Oh, damn, what's his fucking name? The record mogul. Starts with a C. Clive Davis. Clive Davis. Singular or plural? Clive Davis. Singular or plural? I'm not going to say rest in peace because I didn't really like or respect the man. But was Clive Davis singular or plural? My brother from another mother says Clive Davis plural. Tom says Clive Davis big time plural. Floral, plural, plural. Yeah. I see what you did there. I definitely see what you did there. But yeah, I think he's very, very plural. Now the reason I'm picking these kinds of people is because I think it's easy for a person, for these people that I'm talking about, these examples that I'm talking about. And by the way, if y'all have an example, go ahead, write it in the comments, and we'll take a look at that. Now y'all gonna have to let me navigate it because y'all might be talking about one person versus another person, so we have to get them in some kind of order. But yeah, the reason I'm picking some of these people is because it would be easy for our judgment to write them off as being singular because we're not thinking from a standpoint. We're not necessarily thinking from a business standpoint. We might not necessarily be thinking from a life standpoint. We may be thinking from a personal standpoint. Like, I would not do that. I would not be that way. I am not that way. But we can't always look at it that way. Tom says, son, I don't care what nobody say. When you give people like Elton John and that community money, they give to everybody. I couldn't sit in front of this camera and tell you that you're wrong. Don't sound wrong to me. Sound awfully, awfully correct. In my estimation, you sound rightish. You sound correctish. All right. So Clive Davis, plural, right? Right. Okay. The NFL. The NFL. Singular or plural? The NFL, not a person. The entity, the company, the institution. Ooh, you say the NFL is singular. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, shit. What y'all got? We got time. What else we got? The NFL, y'all, the National Football League. Singular or plural? He said, I wish I could say that about the WNBA, though. Come on, y'all. What y'all got? We're gonna do Bump Cities next. NFL, singular or plural? The NFL, singular or plural? Where we at? What we got, y'all? What we got? Let me see. If the NFL was a person, I would actually have to say, I mean, my emotions would say that it was singular. But the NFL, plural as fuck. Plural as fuck. This is what I'll say. The NFL is plural, but the NFL is racist. The NFL is white supremacist. The NFL is discriminatory. The NFL is toxic. That's what I would say about the NFL. If I was only thinking about my feelings, if I was speaking from a strictly personal standpoint, but the NFL is plural as fuck. So is the NBA. So is the NHL. So is Major League Baseball. Plural as fuck. All you have to do is look at Roger, the commissioner. He is singular and he is with the owners of the teams and not the players. Yeah, I remember Colin Kaepernick. Well, the only thing I have against Roger Goodell is that he made sure that there are no black owners in the NFL. How can this be the year of our Lord, 2026, and we don't have one black owner in the NFL? And you ain't gonna tell me that that's just a coincidence. But they still plural. Okay, so my brother from another mother, Norris Hill, he says, the NFL is plural from a plantation standpoint. Absolutely. You just planted something in my head. But let me do yours. Prince Rogers Nelson. Was he singular or was he plural? Multi-instrumentalist like Prince. Plural. Was he plural? Was Prince plural? In a lot of ways, his thinking was very singular. I'm going to have to actually say that Prince was singular. And here's why. Here's why. Because he was a out of control freak. Prince would not let anybody write. He barely wanted them to play instruments. So you can't write your own songs. You can't produce your own songs. You can't do nothing. He has to do everything himself. When you are his artist, imagine being a group like The Time. You got a whole band that's not allowed to write any of their songs. Why? Because Prince says so. So he had a lot of singular. Maybe he was plural, but I think Prince had a strong argument for being singular. Shit. Fuck. Allergies is on tilt right now. Okay. So y'all say Prince was. Toy says, word, all of those entities need us. Entertainment, sports. If we pull away, they have nothing. Word. Okay. Clay says, I think you're talking about Prince being singular, or you talking about the NFL? Time says Prince was definitely plural when it came to the people, but singular when it came to business and the companies. Interesting. Dimple says he's plural. Okay. Son really was in the movie Purple Rain. Purple Rain. I say Prince was plural because when you came to the lady, he was very plural, but when it came to big time record labels and business, he was singular. Okay. Okay. Since my brother planted the seed in my mind, I think we need to do this. How about slave owners back in the day? Were they singular or were they plural? Please think about your answers. Slave owners, singular or plural? Slave owners, slave masters, singular or plural? Slave masters, slave owners, singular or plural? My brother from another mother says Thomas Jefferson, plural as fuck. Hmm. 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 I don't know about y'all, but I'm thoroughly enjoying this conversation. Dimples, you say singular for sure. Mm. 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 Okay. Mm. What else y'all got? We can't just let it be two people. I need y'all to. We're gonna take it back to third and fourth grade. I need y'all to put. I need y'all to put on y'all thinking caps. Slave owners, slave masters back in the day. Singular or plural? I skipped yours, Clay. You said singular. You said singular for Prince. Okay. Singular for Prince. All right, cool. Okay. Okay. All right, two things can be sure, can be true. For slave owners. Slave owners. I don't see a statement for you for the slave masters. Oh, the slave master one? You said they singular? Oh, that's what you were saying singular to. Okay. Slave masters are singular? Okay, so you say Clay says singular, Dimple says singular. See, some of the comments are blending into each other. That's why I was like, we gotta be we gotta be on one, we gotta be in sync. All right. Carb Diem says, these are some tough questions because it really depends on the motivation behind the actions of singularity or plurality for me. Yes. Thank you. That's how it's supposed to be. See, when you sitting alone, pondering your life and life's questions and and trying to analyze the stars in the sky, the solar system that we live. It ain't easy. They're nothing but questions. Just like when you try to understand the motivations of man, it ain't easy. Sometimes we don't even understand our own motivations. We know what we want, but sometimes we ask. I know for a fact. I ask myself, like, why are you this way? Why did you do that? I'd be like, man, I don't know. Not yet. Okay, you said no. I said, if you own slaves, you're not doing anything singular. You a bad man, dog. And I do not see where you wrote that. I think YouTube be taking some shit away. I don't see that anywhere. Big Brother be up on this shit. I didn't see that. But that's a hell of a statement. I think to be a slave master, you had to be plural. Not just plural. And first of all, you were plural in thinking about the white race and how you wanted that power, not just for yourself, but probably for the whole entire South. Probably. And even when dealing with the slaves, you had to keep them slaves healthy. You had to keep them fed. You had to keep them clothed, and you had to keep them strong. I hate to even say those things because it almost sounds like they wasn't that bad. And the fucked up part about it is there were some slavery situations that weren't that bad as far as the brutality is concerned. It wasn't all about slave whippings and shit all the time. They keep us thinking about that. So we keep our mind off of the real problem that slavery posed for us to this day, which was the mental part of it, which was the making us believe that the white man is God, not the God in the sky, but the God right here on earth, and that we should worship him and believe everything that he says, and that he has a better plan for us because he's a better person than we are. That was the part that has us fucked up to this day. And that was the part that kept the slaves from even trying to escape back in the day, or telling on the ones who did try to escape. You ever ask yourself, for the slaves who did escape, you ever ask them where they went to be safe? You ever think about that shit? Have you ever thought about what it's like to not know how to read, not know how to write, but still be able to recognize that the condition that you're in is not the best condition, and then find a way to escape that condition and try to find another place where you would be safe to lay your head, feed your family, live, thrive, eat, work? Where the fuck did they go where it was safe? Because my brother Time is from Boston. He'll tell you it ain't safe up north. What north was they talking about? They make the north sound like it was some kind of heaven. Like white people up in the north wasn't racist. Like none of them participated in the slave trade. So, yeah, slave masters had to be plural. Yeah, I hate the plurality of their being, of their existence, I should say. But yeah, they was plural as fuck. They were plural as fuck. And you know who else was plural? The slaves themselves. They had to be. They had no choice. Now imagine this. We talk about being slaves, our ancestors being slaves, and we think about sometimes, not all of us maybe, but sometimes we think about what we would have done if we were slaves back then, if we were in that condition. And and sometimes I don't think we realize that the only reason that we can even contemplate or ponder that situation is because we're educated. It's because we can read. It's because we can write. It's because we can count. It's because we've been other places. It's because we've been taught by other people. It's because we've integrated. It's because we've interacted with others. So we would no way be able to survive what our ancestors went through. They were able to survive because of their ignorance. Now think about that. Think about that. Think about only being able to succeed or exist because of what you don't know. Because of what you didn't understand. When I hear black people talk all the time about house slaves versus field slaves, and they talk about how the house slaves had it so great. Anybody in this anybody in this chat or anybody listening to this show, anybody ever work in housekeeping? Since we want to kick it like the house slaves had it so good. Anybody ever work as a housekeeper? Try housekeeping for a week if you've never done that shit. Oh, because people think, oh, it's just like cleaning your house. No, the fuck it ain't. You don't push around no cleaning cart for 8 hours a day in your home. That ain't what you do. You clean your house when it gets dirty and when you feel like it. But here's the other thing about these house slaves. The house slaves was constantly under scrutiny. It wasn't like they was just up in the house playing spades and eating fried chicken that they fried up. They had to learn skills. They had to learn how to be the best cooks. They had to learn how to be the best cleaners. They better not steal nothing, because guess what? If anything come up missing, guess who they gonna blame immediately? And it ain't gonna be sweet, because if they find out that you stole something, it ain't gonna be no difference between no house slave and no field slave. Not only that, but y'all act like, I don't mean y'all, but the people who talk this shit, they act like house slaves got to live in the house. They had to change out of their nice house slave clothes and bring their ass right back down to the slave quarters where the rest of the field slaves worked. At least in the field, you ain't have massa looking at you all the time. You didn't. You ain't even have the overseers looking at you all the time, looking over you all the time, because they was lazy white men. Mad at you because you working for free and taking money out of his pocket. That's where all of the redneck racism comes from. It comes from free labor. We were free labor. It's free skilled labor. Free skilled labor. But yeah, and by the way, the house slaves wasn't always in nice clothes. When they had a function, when they had like a gathering, a gala, then they got to dress up nice as servants. On a regular time, they had on, an apron and, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Wasn't sweet like that. But it's a terrible thing that black people look or try to differentiate house slaves from field slaves as if either one was free. Ain't no fucking freedom in slavery, baby. Anyway, I ain't mean to go off on a tangent. Site said, as who said house slaves had it great, just better than burning in the sun. Thank you. A lot of people think that house slaves was normally mulattoes because, the slave master. You know what? Not all slave masters had sex with female slaves. Not all of them. Sure, enough of them, to make a case, but not all of them. Just like all slave masters didn't beat the shit out of these. If they would have beat the slaves all the time, then they would be afraid all the time. They would be too nervous, sick, scared, and injured to work. You wanted them nice and healthy. And don't get me wrong, I'm not justifying or glorifying slavery, but it's important that we understand what our ancestors went through in truth, instead of letting our emotions govern the way that we shade our history and the way that we look at things now. So when I hear a black person call somebody a house slave, and I'm like, if you such a field slave, how come you don't know how to do shit? Field hand. Won't you go fix a horse and buggy or something with your field slave ass? Because I bet you I can fry up some eggs, bacon, some toast and shit, and clean a bathroom in the kitchen. I bet you I know how to do that. You don't know how to do no blacksmithing. You don't know how to heat up some steel, bend that shit and make it into nothing. Talking about you a field slave. Motherfucker. Anyway. Marvina, what's good? What's good? Oh man. Emily Dunlap is in the house. Bow! She's about to turn it out. Emily said, I tried housekeeping for less than 4 hours and said, hell no, this is not for me. I managed housekeeping for years. That shit ain't sweet. And you know what the hardest part about it is? Employee retention. It ain't easy to keep people doing housekeeping because it's one of those jobs that don't make you feel good about yourself. It's one of those jobs. How many of y'all raise y'all kids to clean somebody else's house for a living? Don't really work that way, does it? So keeping their mental state in a well, positively functioning state is challenging. Company says, not a tangent. That's called critical thinking, vetting perceived information for accurate information. I love big brain conversations. We need more of that shit. What up, Michelle? Clay says, me too, son. Don't me touch your car. I mean, touch your ear. What is that say? Car or ear? Oh, the fuck out. Y'all gotta chill. Oh man. This is the reason I do this shit every day. The real shit. Look at this dickhead. He said, you act like a kingpin, but your biggest operation is asking people to like the stream. You got me. I'm nothing. But let me continue doing my nothing because I was feeling kind of good about it. More nothing coming through. Okay. Let me see. Tom says my emotions would have got away with me. I'm glad I wasn't brought up and not ever, because I would have been like Kunta Kinte 10.0. Slavery was all about survival. It was all about survival. Oh, I can cook too. Just don't let me touch your car. Okay. Okay. Give me a good playlist and I can get anything done. Hell, I'll wipe asses and be in a world of my own. I mean, I understand. All I'm saying is everything ain't for everybody. Everything ain't for everybody. And but I tell you this, the money is green. The money is green. What up, Wes? The money is green. Carla said I did housekeeping on on the side at one time. And nope, it wasn't a sweet piece of candy. It's not all that bending you got to do. And you on your feet, walking around all day. It ain't shit. Even part-time, 4 or 5 hours after you done finish your part-time job, probably sitting down all day. It ain't sweet like that. It ain't sweet like that. Housekeeping is one of those things where you got to get it down to a technique, or you'll be running around like a chicken with your head cut off and shit, wasting a lot of energy and not getting a whole lot done. Man. But yeah, okay. So yeah, I think slave masters were plural. I think slaves had to be plural. No way a singular slave was going shit. We can talk about Uncle Ruckus, and we could talk about Steven from Django. That no shit. It was more like Chicken George. You know? More like Chicken George, baby. You gotta get plural. Cleaning condos with 10 beds to make was ass in my yeah. Hey. That shit was ass. But it's a living. And with housekeeping, you on a time schedule. Your ass ain't going to fuck home. You ain't finished those areas. No. Now you could be milking it for the overtime, but anyway. All right. So how we doing on time? Okay, we good. All right. So let's see. God, singular or plural. Now, don't get scared, because I know a lot of y'all, whoever you consider God to be, is God singular or plural? Now, wait a minute. Before what up, James? My dude. What's up, my dude? What's going on? Is God singular or plural? I want y'all to think long and hard about this. Because I know y'all going to straight say plural. But I know the way they be describing them in the Bible, it be seeming awfully singular. So what about it? What about the Lord? Clay said, God singularly plural. Ooh. God Almighty, singular or plural? You good, my dude? That's what's up. Always good to see you back, my man. Tom says God is definitely plural. And my big mama is watching. As much as I went to church when I was young, it is definitely plural, and it better be plural. Stacy says singular. Wes says both. Interesting. Clay says apparently all life comes out of his creation. Well. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hold on. Okay. All right, wait a minute. Let me see. But some are educated is a crazy part. Okay, Bump City says, like Parliament said, everything is on the one. Savoy, build and destroy, says if we're made in his image, then what is he really? Yo, I fucks with y'all for real, for real. This is crazy. I'm speaking religiously now, son. Don't flame. Hey. I'm nah, we good. Okay. Tom says, and as my big mama would say, it is a bad thing to be in God's creation and likeness. Oh, should we rock with the devil, who is probably more singular because he is trying to defeat the Lord? Is that what the devil is doing? Okay. Carb says, God is balanced, neither good or evil, singular and plural. Just my opinion. I base my opinions on what nature shows me. There is always the balance. Clay said the song came out. I got scared. So I said, so we have a singular God and we have a singular devil that is battling for the people in this world. Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. God, singular or plural? The supreme being, creative of the solar systems, the galaxies, the whole entire universe. Singular or plural? Interesting. I mean, they say, like the Bible says, that God is a jealous God. Can't serve two masters. Can't serve two masters. That's what he says, right? But that's what it says that he says. When he created the earth, he rested on the seventh day. That's today, right? Or was that Saturday? Did the world start on a Sunday or a Monday? You know, Seventh Day Adventists, they say, the Sabbath is Sunday, it's Saturday. Well, it says God is a program in a computer from the fifth dimension. That's what the scientists say. Science. James Floyd says, honestly, I don't know. I mean, none of us know for sure. I mean, could it be that God is telling us what answers to put out here? And he's also telling us to be confused? He controls everything, right? He controls everything. I don't remember God. They say God uses people. They don't say that he asks for help. He doesn't employ people. He uses people. Just saying. Tom says he sure is a jealous God. I was just about to bring that up, son. And this is just a thought. Did he think like the white master? As much as I hate this concept, Slavery couldn't have happened unless God made it happen. We learned something from slavery. We got something out of it. We may not have liked the way it went. We may not have liked what we got. But who of us who has never received a gift that we didn't appreciate that much? It might not have been the right color. It didn't fit right. We didn't like the way it looked. It was a gift. It was a gift. And every life is a gift. Aren't those days Roman inventions? You could say that, but the days of the week were started way before the Romans. We going ancient. The Romans just gave us Catholicism, which gave us Christianity. But they stole that too. But that's a whole, the whole Trinity thing, the whole nativity, the Immaculate Conception, all of that shit is stolen. That's stolen. They didn't make that shit up. They didn't invent that. They just monetized it. Tyler says, son, can you ring your bell? Bell? That maybe the Lord was teaching us something about slavery. We got a lot of lessons out of slavery. But see, that's the reason why American slavery in this Western hemisphere was different from slavery ever practiced anywhere around the world. And that's what we be trying to tell people. Like, this was chattel slavery. We were under the ownership of another man. That has never been done around the world historically. Only here. So when people try to say, well, white people were slaves. No, y'all were indentured servants. So when y'all owed a debt, y'all did work alongside the slaves, just like a job. And as soon as y'all paid y'all debt off, y'all went back on being free white men while the slaves stayed there for life. Difference. But see, when in your ignorance, or lack of education, when you don't know how the shit worked, you know what I mean? White people kill me with that shit. Oh yeah, my family's Irish and we were slaves too. No, the fuck you weren't. No, you weren't. Fuck out of here. The fact that you came from Ireland lets me know that you were not a slave. Slaves didn't come from Ireland. James says, I'm sure we've all been through things that we never liked or wanted to go through, but we for sure got something out of it in the end. That's true. Even if you didn't like what you got. Shit. How many lessons did you recognize as being valuable exactly when you learned them? We was talking about math earlier. We was talking about math and we was talking about English. You ain't want to take that shit. You ain't want to do your homework. You ain't want to, if you was good in one and not the other, whatever, you hated to do the other. You'd rather do like if you was good in math, you more than likely you weren't as good in English as you were in math. Very few people were as good in math or English. Even doctors, even the smartest motherfuckers I know, you find out, you want to find out where a motherfucker is mentally, have him write a paragraph for you. You're going to see some shit. So the motherfucker might be a genius otherwise, but have him write a paragraph. Let's see what he write. Look how he structured his sentences. Look at peep out the punctuation and the content. You trust me. First of all, he might be like, what's a paragraph? You can stop your lesson right there. Like, this motherfucker might be able to run a multi-billion-dollar company, but he can't write a paragraph though. The same way as somebody might be able to read and write you out of the whole Bible, Torah, Quran, but you might not be able to count 2 plus 2. Well, you might be able to count that high, 3/5 of a human being. Oh, Clay. Now you starting some shit. Come on, man. That's why we about to do this poll question, and then we gonna do these birthday shout outs and get the fuck on up out of here. Cause now I knew I shouldn't have done this shit. I knew, you know what I mean? I got to pick up and run now. Oh shit. Oh shit. You start talking about being 3/5 of a man. My SATs look like two different people took each session. First of all, the SAT is hard as fuck. It wasn't designed for regular smart people. You know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah, I fucks with y'all. Y'all gave me some candy today. All right, let's go to the poll question. From 24 votes, what are your thoughts about borrowing things or people doing things for you? 60%, all right, went up to 25. 60%, most of us said, I try not to ask for help or borrow anything. Wow. Okay, 8% said, people try to throw it in your face. And I understand. That's why a lot of people don't like to borrow, don't like to ask people for things or whatever. Yo, James, I was telling everybody, I've had this jersey since 1997, dog. This is an old ass jersey. This shit just held up. I'm telling you, I got this in 97, summertime, 1997. And I think I got it from, I got this shit on the Ave, dog. I think, if not, I might have got it from Foot Locker. Because I came into a couple of dollars at the time. Couple dollars. And I caught these joints on sale. They might be from 96. Real shit. Okay. All right. 20% said, only if I'm truly in a bind will I ask for something or borrow money. Understandable. And 15% said, I ask freely. Everyone needs help. That's actually my favorite answer. And I think that's the answer that we all have to evolve to. It's not an easy one to come. That's the one that doesn't just come. You know what I'm saying? Like recognizing that, listen, don't be ashamed to ask for help when you need it, because no matter how a person tries to make you feel, at the end of the day, they either going to fucking help you or they're not. And if they help you, good. Pay them back and keep it moving. That's it. And if they need help one day, remember what they did for you and help them. But trust me, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what kind of lover you have. I don't care how your life is going. I don't care what kind of car you drive or what kind of house you have or any of that shit. There was a time in your life, maybe even right now, currently, where you needed help from somebody and somebody looked out for you and you had to ask them. It could be something as simple as, I can't get this fucking phone to work. Shout out to all of the seniors out there that rely on their grandkids. Like, baby, come over here and fix this phone. I don't know what's going on. This thing acting crazy. And your grandmother don't feel no kind of way about asking you 10 times if they need to. Each 10 times, each one of those times, you better respond like it was the first time. Sure thing, Grandma, I got you. No problem, Grandma. Yeah, Granny. Nana. Big Mama. Oh yeah, no problem. It is what it is. We all need a little help sometimes. Hopefully we get our shit together and evolve to the point where we need help less and less, because we learned from the times when we were deficient and we got our shit together to learn how to save, learn how to prepare, learn how to be more self-sufficient. Hopefully. Okay. Let's go to birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious July 12th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special because they are special because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box, Melvina DeBose, and also Mecca Brooks. Susie White, my girl going all the way back to the third grade, 1978, Dina Brown, and Bunny Armstead, Teresa Rembert, Jessica Lynn Chapman, Sony Jackson, Anthony Green, and last but not least, my man Daymar Moore. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all, and I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious, glorious July 12th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up, turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, to rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, yeah, what? I said, yeah, let it breathe, baby. What you know about?
Please stop fucking with me. 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 Please stop fucking with me.
Break it down, baby.
Please stop fucking with me. Please stop fucking with me.
Love is love, baby. Hit that like button.
Hope you are done fucking with me.
Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to the show as much as I enjoyed broadcasting it. Love is love, baby. He said, chain finna get snatched. Yo, if you are in any part of the world where they use the word finna, you ain't taking shit of mine. Have a good one. Peace, y'all. Love is love.